Kind of annoyed because I already did this video but there was no sound, so I went for a shower. Now I'm back to do it again. So alignment is what we're doing here. Alignment. We talked about the aspects. So how do we align them? This is the entire function of the being. This is the function of every human, the most major function in our system. Before any heartbeats or breath work or anything, this is the energetic structure that animates our being. Okay, so from collective data or light, we are an inquiry which forms an impulse which brings a cycle of life into being. Okay, that's this droplet coming into being through polarity, and through that polarity it gains a focus this way and this way. So in polarity, one focus becomes two, one inward, one external, one active, one passive. Okay, and they both have control of this energetic structure that is inside our body. If you imagine these together, but just for the purposes of explaining, I've separated them so that we can look at what each one does. But together, this is one energetic, self-sustaining structure that could go forever. It could go forever. If it was in balance, it would go perfectly till the end of this cycle. And that cycle is decided by inquiry. So we won't go too far into that, but let's look at the feminine. So the feminine is a helix. That's what you can see here. I just see it like that in my mind. So the feminine is spinning always internally. It's the subconscious, the being. It's pure data. It comes from the pure data of collective light and is always attached to that. It doesn't interact with the matrix. So it doesn't pick up distortion. The only distortion it incurs is the divine designed egoic structure of the masculine. So it is limitless. It's passive though, so it can't perform active tasks. It's a passive energy. It's limitless for that reason. It's connected to all data, but it has no way to use it. It needs an injection into the physical to conduct creation. So that's where the masculine aspect comes in. The masculine forms the perimeter of the being, and the masculine's job, most of all, is to keep the structure safe. So not just safe from external threat, because we don't actually have external threat, so we wouldn't if we were conducting our physicality correctly, but he is looking to create strong boundaries. And the only way this gets strong boundaries, this structure, is if it's spinning really fast. And the only way it would spin really fast is if it's in alignment with the feminine and balanced. Okay, so the masculine is doing. Its focus is always external. It's informed by its environment. It lives in the matrix. It's Sam. Me doing this right now has me in my masculine energy because I'm performing a task in the matrix. Okay, and this, these aren't energetic. These are like solid structures that are here with me. So as I conduct this here, I am in this energy. But because I really like to do this, and this puts me in alignment because it makes me happy and I really enjoy it, my distortion is designed to make the energy flow well when I'm doing this. I am also in touch with my feminine, and that creates a balance, a balanced masculine aspect. That's when you can be these things at the same time as this, because you are forming an alignment between these two structures. So together, we're just going to go over the feminine here. They look like this. And when they're spinning really quickly together, which they can when they are balanced and in alignment with one another, like a marriage, I don't know what, like a marriage. This is what marriage is based on. This inner aspect, Eve, and this external aspect, Adam. The marriage is with self between these aspects, okay? So the structure then requires no external light. It doesn't need to feed off any other source of light, because when these two are in balance, it can manufacture limitless amounts of light, because the feminine is drawing it from the collective consciousness, data, light that's here all around, and is passively spreading that out in the being. So the being is full of light to the point where the being starts having an abundance of light and is able to use that energetic value to build new structure, or to travel, or, you know, to spend time in here. So when we marry the aspects within, the Adam and Eve, the conscious and the subconscious, meaning they both align in what they want and how they're functioning. The feminine always wants the masculine's highest benefit. She always wants to give him as much energy as possible. She knows this is a limitless relationship, and that we could be creating whatever we want. But he, or the masculine aspect, me now doing this, if I'm in a state of fear or in a lower vibrating oscillation, I guess, I'm going to be hampered. I'm not going to be as fast as this. So when we're going together, it's going to oscillate and it's going to come out of alignment. Okay, because the masculine always thinks he's limited, because he's living in the reality of this. And this is what we've collectively built. It's nobody's fault. We've collectively built this. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good way to give out light. But it can't go on forever, because it's a pyramidal structure. Eventually it has to collapse and start again. And the masculine, he earns passive light in the matrix. If he's not in harmony with this feminine, he can collect enough distortion so that he begins to block his own passive light and requires more and more and more resources from others just to function. Okay, and he doesn't have access to pure data because he's in the matrix, and there is pure data in the matrix, but there's also a lot of distorted data that you take on while you're looking for the pure stuff, and that all costs energy. So the more distortion you hold and the thicker the ego gets, the worse you are off, because you're cutting yourself off from this light. And then you need energetic resources, and that's how narcissists, that's what's wrong with them, you know. And then empaths, so they lack a boundary. They don't feel safe, so they lack this boundary. But anyway, that's for another day. So the masculine is always earning light in this pyramidal structure. He doesn't know he has this capability, because who knew, you know. So the ego was designed to fulfill the matrix objectives. So when you were born, you were shown, your dad might have been a plumber, he might have shown you how to do plumbing work, and then you got that. And then your uncle might be a joiner, and he showed you how to do that. And then your other uncle might be an electrician, and they're helping you form egoic distortions that are designed to help you fulfill matrix objectives. Because the matrix telling you, we want you up here, we want you asking for a house, a car, and a partner, or kids, or a cat, or something you can buy. Not a partner, that's terrible. Not a partner, but things you can buy with matrix coins after giving your energy in that manner. And the masculine has a need for safety. So the safest masculine is always the one up here. But the masculines below are like, I want to be the safest one. I don't want anyone in charge of me. You know, because their ego's saying that they know that passive light is limited and they might not always get it. So they need to save it while they can. Whereas the balanced being who's getting a continual source of collective light doesn't even need to worry about that, and so is not carrying all this distortion. And distortion is just a lie, basically. It's a bend in the energy created by corrupt data. So the masculine and feminine, in order to keep the marriage going, because that's what that's what we want in the end, is to have the marriage between the aspect always functioning to its highest degree. And we can't always have that because stuff happens in the matrix. And, you know, you might get sad for a day or something might happen. And then you are trapped in your masculine for a while. And you can't get in alignment with yourself because you can't find happiness for whatever reason. Okay, to form alignment between the two, you can shower. I shower and imagine myself washing off distortion and dirt. I think of it as dirt, the distortion we pick up in our general lives, the data we don't need, the corrupt data that isn't even correct, and it's misinforming the rest of our system. So you can clean yourself, you can exercise, you could have a massage, you could be playing a computer game, anything that you enjoy. So anything that you're like, oh, I love doing this, eating cheese, playing video games, just doing fun things. So that's because your focus is no longer out there in the matrix where you don't feel safe. Your focus is now on enjoyment. It's going internal. For that little minute, you're free. So you're really happy. And happy is just fast moving energy. If you go on the Hawkins scale of vibration, which is really useful, and you see down here is, I don't know, sadness, and up here is joy and indifference. Okay, it's just a speedometer, like you get in a car. So when you're up here, you're going fast. When you're down there, you're going slow. All that's happening is when these two energetics aren't in alignment and aren't oscillating as fast as they could, they don't have enough light for the system. The whole complex starts to degrade because there's not enough light being delivered to fulfill all of this that's going on, the mechanics of our system. So when it's going really slowly, this isn't a big thing. This is one light moving. So imagine if it's going really slow, this part of the complex is just getting nothing for a moment, okay, until the energy makes its way down. And it's slow and it's slow. So this is how we get, and then we're on board in distortion from the matrix, and this is how we get illness and we get sickness. But if they're in alignment, they're moving really fast. So if you feel good, this energy is moving quickly. And it's not about what you're doing or why you're doing it, or, you know, being in purpose or not, or having a shower, or it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you are doing that and it's making you spin really fast, it's replenishing your whole system and your body feels happy. Your feminine is replenished. Some of the distortion breaks down so that she, the feminine, the one that can manufacture the light within you, can break through and actually start powering your vessel for it. So the longer you stay in that happy place, just think of it, the moment you're happy, just think of your energy doing this. If I'm happy, that's going fast and my whole system is being replenished. I know we're not in bubbles and we're solid, and I promise you I'm not crazy. But if you start to actually listen to your complex as though it were a bubble and as though it was spinning, you don't have to get the whole bloody like shapes down and stuff. It's not about what shape it is. It's just the way I translate that from my feminine to my masculine. It's about noticing how fast is it going? Is it going fast? Is the marriage in a good state? I'm getting so tired and I just can't even spell marriage. Are we communicating? Am I taking that time to go in? Or am I constantly focusing externally because I'm unsafe? The worst thing you want to do is sit and be unsafe for a long period of time. Like those fight or flight responses that come up and are triggered within us to run away. And then we should be able to relax and our system be at peace again. But there's so much distortion in our environment. So many things telling us we're not safe, we're not safe, we're not safe, we're not safe, we're not safe. And that is designed, that is productive to certain inquiries because that keeps you in the masculine. And they do not want everyone in balance because this place will kick off. Honestly, sickness will disappear. Like it's honest, everything would be dramatically different if everyone was spinning as they should be. And you're so powerful that even if you've got a lot of distortion, you find alignment with something and I promise you, you'll look younger, you'll feel better, your life will go better. Things that you never imagined could happen will happen because you're oscillating at a new frequency. So to find alignment, just go inside. And by go inside, I mean close your eyes to the outside world and for a minute, don't let the masculine think. Because you can't listen and think at the same time. If he's not listening, he's not going within. If you're sitting there going within and you're like, God, I've got to pay this tomorrow, I've got to do that, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. Or even if it's good, like idea, business plan, blah, blah, blah. This is what I suffer from. My head is just awash with ideas 24/7. Everyone gets bored of here. I'm like a crazed inventor, but I don't invent these things. It's not that type of things, but it's just, it's a lot. So when that's happening, I'm still not listening. It sounds amazing and she's sending me signals, but I'm not listening. So I have to really quiet everything down. And you don't have to be silent. You can just have a dumb focus. What I mean by that is like doing the dishes or something that's a manual job that you don't have to concentrate on, or a shower. Like stand in the shower and let the data wash over you, because that's what it is. It's light, it's data. Water is light and data like everything else. So go within and balance your aspects literally every morning when you get up. It doesn't matter what you do. Exercise. When you exercise, it goes fast. But you don't need to exercise. You can do other things. All right, so I'm going to go because I waffled again. Bye.